Turning to your mental health on this Monday, September is Suicide Prevention Month, and the timing couldn't be more needed as studies indicate that suicide has risen to the second leading cause of death among those aged 15 to 24 years of age. The first being unintentional injury or accidents. Experts warn serious steps are needed now to address this issue immediately, as it's become a public health crisis amongst our adolescents. Here to provide expertise is psychologist and mental health expert Garcia-Balis, the CEO at Airport Marina Counseling Service. Happy Labor Day. Thank you for joining us bright and early on this holiday.
Thank you, Giselle.
So this is a shocking statistic, suicide becoming the second leading cause of death for adolescents. Why? What's happening?
Our children are being bullied left and right. And now with social media, there's even more opportunity for our children to be bullied. It's so important as parents to monitor what our children are doing, what they're watching on social media, to look at what apps they're on. The more social media apps they're on, the more opportunity there is for bullying. So it's just really important for parents to pay attention to their children's behavior and notice if something changes.
Is that even what the studies have shown, that there's a direct correlation from the impact of negative social media on suicide rates?
That's absolutely correct. Now, usually suicide attempts, suicidal ideation is associated with a mental health disorder, which is usually depression. So if you see that your child is isolating, that there are changes in their sleeping or eating habits, that they are saying things like, I don't want to be here anymore, or I want to die, then it's important for a parent to take that seriously and begin to talk to their children about it. There's a myth that if you talk about suicide directly, that you're actually putting that in your child's head, and that's simply not the truth. It actually shows your child that you care, that you notice something's happening, and that you want to help.
And you're willing to talk about it, and that conversation is so vital, we're told by the experts. What about COVID, along with social media and all the isolation? Did that also play into creating more stress for our minors?
100%. When we first went into the pandemic, it was, oh my gosh, all this social isolation. How are our children going to connect with their peers and friends, which is so important? And then coming out of the pandemic, it was, oh gosh, I haven't seen my friends in so long. What's that going to be like? And then with all the variants of the different, with the variants, now it's, oh God, are we going back into isolation? Am I going to get sick? Am I going to lose a loved one? So there's a lot of anxiety and depression more prevalent than there was before.
Yeah, and talk to us again then about the signs parents can look for to see if their teens or young adults are experiencing suicidal thoughts or ideation. You said if they become depressed, they start to eat differently. What else?
Yes. So parents need to pay attention. They know their children. If you begin to notice your child is behaving differently, you need to do something about it. So signs include, as I said, changes in sleeping or eating habits. If your child becomes to be withdrawn, if your child just doesn't like or want to do things that they used to do before. If your child is not following their treatment plan, if they have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder. Those are all signs that something's going on. If they've tried suicide in the past, that also increases their risk of trying suicide again. So all just important things that parents need to pay attention to.
And what is the #1 thing parents can do when they sense their kid's in trouble?
Talk about it. So talk about mental health, talk about suicide. Don't wait for your child to come to you. It's up to us as parents to say, hey, I noticed that there's something different and I want to help. I'm here to support you. If you think your child is in imminent danger, call 911. Go to an emergency room. Call the 988 Crisis and Suicide Hotline, or make an appointment with a mental health professional.
And our society, our government, are we doing enough to help these kids get through and navigate the challenges of life today?
I'd have to say that we can do more, that we need to pay attention, and there needs to be more out there for our children to turn things around and feel like they have the supports necessary to feel like they can cope in this society with all of these. I mean, it's so scary out there that many children just are fearful about what's happening in the world.
Yeah, challenging for all of us these days. Eden Garcia-Balis, the CEO at Airport Marina Counseling Service, thank you for joining us today and sharing your advice. It's so vital right now for all of our families. We'll be right back, everyone. Thanks again, Eden. We'll be back.
Thank you.